In this video, I'll be reviewing Audified's DW Drum Enhancer. The product page claims one click sets up your system, and the only thing you have to care about is fine-tuning and gentle saturation of your sound. You save your time and insert slots and CPU power. The user reviews on the website were solid, so I was really looking forward to trying Drum Enhancer out. For this video, version 1.0.2 was used. So let's take a look at the plugin itself. Our first control is perhaps the most important, which is our input trim. It's called level in. Then we have a polarity switch, followed by a noise gate with two different options, soft and hard. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you set the input trim, over here on the meters, you should be aiming for 0. Not your typical gain stage level of around -12 or so. 0 is what you need on the in. So then we have a compressor, which is this section. And then we have the, main part of the plugin, which is where we choose our drum type. And you got kick, snare, tom drums, and room overheads and drum bus. Down here, anytime you click a control, this changes. So if I were to do this, it changes to that. I like that feature because the text is small, and this is actually a lot easier to read than this. So that's a nice little feature Audified used. Then over here, this is where you bypass the plugin. And then our EQ controls. And then on here, we set whether the EQ is before or after the compressor. High and low pass filters. And then we also have a saturation module, which gives you 5 different saturation types. And you can disable saturation with this button. And then our last few controls, your output, and then presets, which are always nice. So let's take a listen to what it can do. This is without it on. And on. Snare top. Overheads. And before. And room mics. Before. Stereo is way messed up on that track. Not my fault. And then finally a tom drum. And I believe this is a floor tom. Okay, so my initial thoughts of it, and actually my final thoughts, are I'm really not that impressed. Number one, what the heck is this signal that constantly plays even when my track's not playing? That's got to be some bug, right? Ah, there it is. So it's in the low end. So there's some kind of DC offset bug. That needs to be fixed. That's not a huge deal as long as you roll off your master bus. So I'll let them know about that. As far as the sound of the plugin itself, for something that's easy to use, I'm really not that impressed. I'll be honest. Like, I was expecting something where, I just put it on and it sounds great. And that's unfortunately not what I got, because you got to do a lot of tweaking to get something somewhat decent. And then as I delved into the EQ, I really wasn't that impressed. Now, I was impressed by the saturation. I really do like the saturation module. However, the compressor also was not that impressive as well. As far as usage is concerned, like I said, I was expecting something easy to use. Well, when it's hard to flip through the presets because there's no button that I'm aware of, even pressing the keyboard up and down doesn't work, doesn't change the preset to my knowledge, or left and right. So they need to add another button where I can just click this and then cycle right through all the different presets in that folder. I'd also like to see them add some kind of input-output link, but that might not be beneficial because of the additional compressor and saturation modules. The gate was pretty darn good. I do wish it had a little bit more control, but even without the additional controls, it was easy to get a nice gate out of. Again, I like the saturation module, but the rest of the plugin, for what it costs, normally the MSRP on the thing is $200 outside of the intro pricing, which right now is $149. I don't think it's worth it. And actually, and I don't say this lightly, by the way, because I'm not really a big fan of these plugins either, but for right now, they're on sale. They've been on sale for a while for $89. The Wave Signature Series bass and drums gives you a lot more plug-in bang for buck. Yeah, I have a real problem suggesting this plugin. Now, my opinion is my opinion, and as always, I say try all this stuff before you buy it. That's the great thing about plugins, is most of the time you can download them and try them out ahead of time. But this one was simply not my cup of tea, and I can't recommend it. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.